All right, we're back with our distinguished panel, John Rutledge, Barry Ritholtz, and Cody Willard, a.k.a. Cody, Wyoming. Now, telecoms, as I said, up 10% year to date. They were flat today. Actually, during this correction since May 10th, when you've had materials and energies, for example, down almost 15%, telecoms have been flat. So it's a heck of a good performance. Now, Cody, what do you make of this story? AT&T wants to go video. This is home zone, they call it, and they're home zoning into what? Light speed is the ultimate when they build the pipes. Now they're going to try to jumpstart that. What's your take?
Well, it's a fine idea for the near term to intermediate term, but again, they are trying to control the content that's going to be beamed over those pipes, and I think that's the wrong model. I think they're wasting billions of dollars building out a TV infrastructure that's going to be rendered irrelevant in the next 10 years anyway.
Did the cables get there first, so the market's too crowded, and this is just going to drop prices some more?
I
mean, putting stuff on the internet is no big deal, right? It's not like some new thing.
It's not any big deal, but the ability to actually watch video content on a quality level that the consumer will tolerate is just now getting to be a reality because of the speeds that we're building out in this country, and they continue to increase.
Would you buy AT&T?
The only telecom I really like would probably be Verizon because they are focusing on the speeds and the fiber itself. They too, though, are, I think, wasting billions on building out TV infrastructure.
So you don't really like Verizon?
I mean, it's good for utility, but
you're in cash now, except for Microsoft.
Mostly, yes.
Right. All right. Barry Ritholtz, before we resume the Microsoft debate,
yes.
Other companies involved in this AT&T operation is TiVo, of course, NBC Universal. This is the film library stuff.
Right.
What do you make of those? They're media companies. Right. We could throw in Time Warner as well. What do you think about that whole sector?
Well, Time Warner is the poster child for a bad marriage between content and pipes with their deal with AOL. When you look at TiVo, they're doing some really interesting things with trying to both be a consumer product and also be a gateway to video on demand and a couple of other things. The stock has been kind of all over the place. I don't know if it's a great long-term investment. It really depends on how this plays out. But when you look at everybody else, this triple play has been, you've seen Cablevision do it, we've seen all sorts of other players do it. It's really these major telecoms and cable companies sniping and trying to take a piece of each other's market share. And from a consumer perspective, it's great because, as John had mentioned, the prices have come down. I don't know how this really plays out going forward. It really is a story that's unfolding.
John, the telecoms cut a break with respect to universal video, I think, in the cities and states. They don't have to go through and grease and line the pockets of every local official like they've been doing and like the cables have been doing for many years, John. Do you like this story?
I do. It's no good to be a mayor anymore. I don't know how you're going to make money.
There's no money in it anymore, John. There's absolutely no profit in it whatsoever. This is going to drive half the political class into the private sector.
I know it. There's your productivity boost, Larry. But
we'll welcome
yes, the states have been pushing very hard on statewide franchising. The new bill in the Senate and the bill that passed the House both have national franchising in them. It's going to happen. It's going to bring choice for video to people. And although it'll be good for these telecom guys, it'll be even better for the telecom equipment makers that make the boxes and switches to bring the stuff to your house or your business.
John, do you expect the aforementioned telecom equipment makers to keep consolidating? We had some news on this front with Nokia and Siemens. There's going to be other news. Motorola is in play, according to everybody on the planet. Where do you see that going, John? I mean, does the shrinkage and consolidation of the telco service providers mean the equipment has to shrink and consolidate also?
I don't think that's where it's coming from, Larry. We had a tremendous drop in capital spending for 5 years running up until last fall. That reduced the revenues for these guys. You've got big competition coming from China, from the likes of Huawei now. So there's big cost pressure. They're consolidating to lower their costs. But if you also get these telecom bills passed, you'll have a huge increase in demand. So post-consolidation, these companies will make a lot of money. So I like these companies with these mergers.
All right, so you're pro the sector. Barry Ritholtz, a little bit of market wisdom for us in a couple of capsules. Sure. The housing, I know you're a big bear on housing, but it looks like a soft landing after today's home starts. You're running still close to 2 million all in.
Right.
It ain't that bad, is it?
Well, you've had 5 or 6 consecutive months where you're down. one up month is expected. It's a little counter trend bounce. You can't take one data point and say, hey, it's a new trend. You got to look at what's been going on.
But the 12-month change is still close to 2 million, just like the 12-month change in sales. I mean, what you're getting is a total, you're getting a decline in the rate of increase. There's no question about that. But the levels, I mean, compared to the past, the levels look okay to me.
Well, you know, everyone seems to forget, while we've been freaking out about interest rates, we're still at a level of interest rates that are historically low. You get a mortgage for 6.5%. That's not terrible. Throughout most of the 90s, mortgages only dip below 8% occasionally. So a 6.5% mortgage, that's still somewhat constructive. It's still somewhat stimulative. It's not until we get up towards the 7.5% that things will really, really cool off.
Barry, in 3 words, you buyer or seller in here for the stock market?
We were a buyer last week. We think the sentiment got extreme.
How about tomorrow?
Sure. I think this whole week you can nibble, and I'm looking for about a 4 to 6 week rally from here.
Cody, high-speed new chip, IBM and Georgia Tech. You know anything about that? Is this the biggest thing since whatever?
If they can bring it to market on a, at a reasonable price, absolutely. It's just another paradigm
250 times faster than chips commonly used today. That's pretty cool.
Hey, welcome
That's
to the
American
future,
science and technology.
Absolutely.
Is this a great country or what?
It's the best.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
You gotta love it. You gonna buy anything tomorrow morning?
Larry, I keep wanting to get excited about things, but
Cody's
I'm not there
a scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat. I rode it hard for 3.5 years. I'll step back a little bit.
He's in cash. He's in Microsoft. John Rutledge likes telecom, and Barry Ritholtz is a buyer tomorrow, but he didn't tell us what. Anyway.
I've been buying indexes, Larry.
Indexes. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Up next on Kudlow and Company.